Hello everyone, Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a preview for Ultimate Universe number 1. This is a new book from Marvel Comics, written by Jonathan Hickman, with art by Stefano Caselli, colors by David Curiel, letters by Joe Caramagna. Before we get into this preview, let's talk about the synopsis for this book. In this book, the spoils of victory after the world-shaking conclusion of Ultimate Invasion, a new team of heroes bands together to save the future. From the mastermind Jonathan Hickman and superstar artist Stefano Caselli, do not miss out on this fine foundational issue for the new line of Ultimate Comics. So, at New York Comic Con, Marvel announced that we were going to have 3 different series spinning out of the Ultimate Invasion, bringing back the Ultimate Universe, and everything was going to kick off with this one specific issue. This is a one shot. I would highly encourage you to read the Ultimate Invasion series, but I don't think you need to if you want to just jump on this issue. I feel like if you do want to go forward, you definitely want to get into this one just so you can see how this ultimate team kind of comes together and then how that will affect the future of the Ultimate Universe. Uh, but definitely very excited for this one. I'm really looking forward to seeing what Jonathan Hickman and the team have planned for us. So let's take a look at some of the preview art. I did notice that this issue, as you can see from the cover and some of the art, is very focused on Thor. Um, it seems like Thor is one of the foundational stones upon which this new Ultimate Universe will lie on, which is really cool. A big fan of Stefano Caselli, big fan of Jonathan Hickman. So I'm very excited to see what they are about to give us. And of course, I do think that the Ultimate Thor design, which has been updated here, is probably like it's a very good looking design. I really like it. It doesn't normally have the helmet, which is the biggest change I think, but I want to know what's the motivation here. Why is Thor fighting which what appears to be other as guardians? So definitely very excited for this. As always, Marvel will have some really cool covers. Once again, very Thor centric. You'll see some of those at the end of the video. Hello everyone, Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, we'll be doing a preview for Spider-Boy number 1. This is a new book from Marvel Comics featuring the all-new sidekick for Spider-Man. Let's take a look at the creative team before we get into this preview. This book is written by Dan Slott with art by Paco Medina and Eric Arcienega on one of the stories. We also have a different story by Ty Templeton and Dee Conifee, letters by Joe Caramagna, and a great cover by Humberto Ramos and Edgar Delgado. So, I actually have not read any of the issues that feature Spider-Boy so far. I do know a little bit about the character. I know he is not exactly I guess I don't want to call him not human, but he's a little bit more spider than Spider-Man. So definitely very interested to see how this will play out. Definitely checking out this first issue. So in this issue, the secrets of Spider-Boy are revealed, spinning out of the pages of Dan Slott and Mark Bagley's monumental Spider-Man run. Here comes the spectacular Spider-Boy. After the events of the end of the Spider-Verse, Spider-Boy's secret history as Spider-Man's sidekick was nearly forgotten forever, but now those mysteries will be revealed while they embark on exciting new adventures together. So it looks like we're gonna have a book that's both for Spider-Man and Spider-Boy, which I'm always down to pick up another Spider book. I think that people have different takes on how they are enjoying the different Spider-Man runs currently. So I think Dan Slott is somebody that knows a lot about how to bring fun spider-related stories into the world of Marvel. So yeah, I'm definitely very excited. Let's take a look at some of the preview art for the first story here. As you can see here, Spider-Man, Spider-Boy hanging out at the bowling alley. Dan Slott, never afraid to use a pun, stay out of our lane. Uh, Action-packed, Very dynamic movements. Very excited to see what the secret is that the Spider Boy, especially because Daily Bugle is um, printing this story about him and calling him a monster. So I think we'll have to definitely dive into that. Of course, with any Marvel release, there's some very cool variant covers that you can see some of them at the end of the video. So hello everyone, Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a preview White Widow #1. This is a new book from Marvel Comics. Very excited to check out what this one is going to be all about. So let's take a look at the creative team before we get into this book. This book is written by Sarah Gailey with art by Alessandro Miracolo, Matt Miller on colors, letter by Travis Lanham. Now, I gotta say, I just reread Sarah Gailey's Know Your Station, so I'm a big fan of the writing. Um, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what the team can do on a superhero adventure, specifically with this character. So let's take a look at what's going on here. Yelena Volova returns, super spy, rogue agent, shadow of the Black Widow. Yelena Volova has been many things, but striking out as a hero in her own right is new to her. Now that she's finally free to choose her own path, who will she become? Writer Sarah Gailey from Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Eat the Rich joins forces with Alessandro Miracolo for a groundbreaking new chapter in the life of one of Marvel's most enigmatic anti-heroes. And that's really what attracts me to this series, that Yelena Volova's past is very fuzzy when it comes to uh, her activities. So really interested in seeing how that's going to play out. Can she play on the side of the superheroes? So how will she go going forward? Let's take a look at some of the preview art now. Um, Really cool to see right off the bat, starting out with an encounter with Cap. Even if it's a little bit of a flashback, as you can see from the not long ago, I think Cap is definitely a good barometer for like superheroes. So like putting somebody up with Cap and teaming up, or maybe having an adventure from the past. I think that's going to be really interesting. And yeah, I really like how they are laying out this like the film reel, as we kind of get a little bit of exposition on Yelena's past. So I think that's going to be really, really interesting. So very much looking forward to this. As with any new Marvel release, there's going to be a lot of cool variants, which you can see some at the end of the video. Hello everyone, Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a preview for X-Men #28. This is another book in the Fall of X line of X-Men comics. Uh, let's talk about the creative team before we get into talking about this book. This book is written by Gary Duggan with art by Joshua Cassara, colors by Marte Gracia, and letters by Clayton Cowles. Now, this series and the Iron Man series that Gary Duggan is writing are both very heavily tied in. After the events of the Hellfire Gala, we're still on the first arc after that, so very interested in what's going on. Based on the cover, I know we're going to focus on both Firestar and the Juggernaut, so let's read a little bit about this issue. Hot and heavy, Juggernaut has come a long way from his beginnings as a bully, transformed into an unstoppable foe of the X-Men. In fact, he'd recently become one of mutankind's best human allies. So why is he trying to kill Firestar? Now, if you read the Hellfire Gala, you know that Firestar has been planted into Orchis as a double agent. We know that Kate Pride now has visited Firestar, so I'm very interested to figure out where that mystery is going, what also the Juggernaut's been taken captive. So very interested in following those threads of this Fall of X era. We know that this whole era of Krakoa will be wrapping up pretty soon from the announcements of Comic Con. So I'm very excited for that happening at the beginning of next year. So these few issues will be tying off a lot of loose ends, leading us right into that. So really excited to see all that. Also, I hate Orcus with all my heart, so I want them to burn to the ground, and hopefully Firestar can accomplish that. We don't have a lot of preview art, but we do have a few pages, and as you can see, most of it is Orcus centric and Orcus related. We do see Firestar here. Looks like her double agent status has been activated, so I'll be very excited to see how this plays out. So, uh, also, one thing that I have mentioned all throughout some of these videos is that Marvel's putting out some Moon Knight related variant covers. I feel like there's some kind of Moon Knight celebration that I'm not aware of that's kicking off this week in November. Hello, everyone. Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a preview for Scarlet Witch number 10. This is the last issue of this current series. I don't know what the status will be going forward for the Scarlet Witch, but we know that this is the last issue that we have on the previous pages. So very excited to see how this story wraps up. Let's talk about the creative team before we get into all that. This book is written by Steve Orlando with art by Sarah Pichelli, Frank William on colors, letters by Corey Petit. Beautiful cover by Russell Dotterman and some other covers that we'll see at the end of the video. So, in this issue, the Scarlet Witch versus Hexfinder. When chaos magic meets alchemical might, it's all Wanda can do to keep her town and her friends from getting caught in the crossfire. Hexfinder has sworn vengeance on all witches and won't stop until Wanda is a trophy on her wall. Wanda is one of the most powerful forces in the Marvel Universe, but can she stand against someone who's trained her whole life to eradicate magic? Um, yeah, this book has been so much fun. I think Steve Orlando has introduced some really interesting concepts. Uh, Sarah Pichelli, being one of the main artists on this series, just really has kind of redefined the look of Wanda and this world. So really appreciate that, including some some of the new characters that we see for the series. So let's take a look at this preview art here. And as I mentioned, we have Wanda, of course. We also have Darcy, who's kind of become part of this of being entangled with the Scarlet Witch, which is kind of cool. Character from the films making it into the comic books, and we have the Hex Finder as well. So really cool stuff. I just really like everything that's been going on in this series with this group, and I'm very excited to see how everything ends up playing out. We also know that Joseph is involved. Joseph is a clone of Magneto. Go read a lot of 90s comics so you can get all the information on Joseph. So very excited. I'm a big fan of Sarah Pichelli's art, as I mentioned, and just really want to see the conclusion of this series. Probably one of my favorite Scarlet Witch runs in a little while. So this is something I would definitely put on a must read list for Scarlet Witch fans. But let me know what you thought about this issue once you read it. We'll definitely be following up on this probably series. I'll probably do a video of the series as a whole in the future. So stay tuned for that. And let me know what you thought about this one and the full series in the comments. Also, Marvel's doing some really cool variant covers, including something. There's a lot of Moon Knight themed comics, variant covers coming out this week, kicking off in November. So very excited to see why Marvel's doing that. There must be some anniversary or something that I'm not fully aware of. Hello, everyone. Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a preview for The Avengers number 7. This is a new book from Marvel Comics. Let's take a look at the creative team before we get into the book. This book is written by Jed MacKay with art by C.F. Bella, Federico Blee on colors, letters by Corey Petit. And I wanted to do a preview for this because we are kicking off the second arc of the second story, really, in this new series for The Avengers, with really pretty much the team still untouched. So really cool, really great jumping on point. If you missed the first 6 issues and the annual, this is a good place for you to get back in. In this issue, all new story arc starts here. The Avengers defended the world, but they are beginning not to recognize the world as their own. What has happened to Earth's mightiest heroes, and what has happened to the Vision? Oh, I really like a Vision centric story. I think Vision is it's a character that, even though as a synthesoid you would think they wouldn't have a large range of emotions, I think writers throughout the years have shown um, that they can be quite interesting. So let's take a look at some of the preview art here. Villa is just a fantastic artist, and I really enjoy stuff from the past. As we can see here, tragedy seems to have struck the Avengers. The world broken in half. The Avengers fallen. Vision fallen. We know that when Vision dies, he turns white apparently. And then also in this page, some kind of giant kaiju monster. So I like the stories where we begin with a large failure for the team, because I feel like getting there, uh, you know, usually that's not the end of the story, but it's a good place to kind of start and kick us off, set the tone. I also really like the team so far. It's been really cool, right? We have Thor and Scarlet Witch, Iron Man with his new armor. We have Captain Marvel, or Captain Marvel. We have Black Panther. We have Captain America, the Sam Wilson, and of course Division, who seems to be our wild card in this specific issue and story. So very interesting stuff. We'll definitely do a follow video on this, or maybe talk about it during one of our live streams. So stay tuned for that. Let us know what you thought of the issue if you picked it up. Marvel has put out some really cool variant covers, including there's a lot of Moon Knight stuff that's about to happen. I'm not really sure if there's an anniversary coming or what's going on, but Marvel is doing a lot of Moon Knight themed variant covers. So you'll see some at the end of the video. And as always, thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye.